Hi everyone, Happy New Year. It's great to be back. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Alexandra Conroy. I used to be a corporate lawyer and a partner in the city, and I now run my own business as a performance coach. So for all of my trainees out there, you guys will be coming up to the end of your current seat in 4 or 5 weeks' time. So what I wanted to talk to you about today was how to make sure you don't miss out on the opportunity that a seat change can provide for you. Now, I know that a seat change can sometimes be a bit scary. You know, you've just about figured out what the hell an intercreditor agreement is, and now suddenly you're being thrown into the weird and wonderful world of litigation. So I know it can be a bit daunting. It's a bit like going back to school, but I really don't want you to worry about that. You figured it out for this seat, you'll figure it out for the next one, and in the meantime, you've got 6 months of great experience under your belt. So what I would prefer you to do is refocus your energy on thinking about how you can make the most of this opportunity, this transition. Remember that change always equals opportunity. In this case, you have got the opportunity to make a fantastic last impression and a fantastic first impression. And what I really don't want you to do is risk 5 or 6 months of really hard work by leaving a bad legacy behind. So I'm going to give you some tips and hacks around how to do that, and there are also some free resources in the newsletter. But if you take one thing away from this video, I want you to think about this. I want you to ask yourself the question, how do I make life easier for my current supervisor and for my new supervisor during this transition? Remember that they only have a certain amount of calories to burn each day on thinking about stuff. So what you want to do is reduce the amount of calories that they have to burn on thinking about you leaving the seat, because that is going to make them feel better about the experience of working with you, which is going to be ultimately better for you on qualification. This is a real opportunity for you to demonstrate to them your competence, your reliability, and ultimately your employability. So thinking about how to make things easier for them will mean that you have a better transition. So that is a key overarching thing. If you don't take anything away other than that, that's fine. But I wanted to give you a few quick tips as well. So number one, always, always, always do a formal handover process. And what I mean by that is a handover note and a handover meeting with your supervisor, any associates that you're working with, and the incoming trainee. Now, if you go to my newsletter, there's a link to my website where you can download a handover checklist and a pro forma handover note. And that covers things like for each matter you're working on, the status of it, the time frame, where the documents are saved, and who's taking over. So if you cover each of those things, you'll be most of the way there. But please do this for every single time. You know, you may think you have the most awesome memory in the world, but you will forget something. And even if you have the most awesome memory in the world, that's no use to the team once you've moved on. So make sure you do that, and remember that it's your responsibility to do that, and including with the incoming trainee. If things don't go smoothly, which includes the first couple of weeks after you've left, then that is going to be your responsibility because you haven't done the handover properly. And what you really, really don't want to happen is for your supervisor or an associate to be grappling around a week later because they can't find a document or they don't know the status of something because you haven't given them a handover. So make sure you do that. Even if your supervisor is super busy, try and grab 5 minutes of their time or give them a very detailed handover note. That will make their lives so much easier, and they will thank you for that, and they will remember that when it comes to qualification. So that's number one. Number two, for your new seat where you're going into your next endeavour, make sure you do your due diligence. 2 or 3 weeks beforehand, go and see your new supervisor and just introduce yourself. It's helpful to them, it's helpful to you if you've both put a face to a name. And also you can ask them about whether there's anything they want you to do or read over the next couple of weeks in preparation. Also make sure you have done a handover with the outgoing trainee. Again, it's your responsibility to do that because you're the one who's going to suffer if you don't know what's going on day one. So do all the work stuff. You can ask them all the questions that you may be uncomfortable asking your supervisor. But also, and probably equally important, you can get the lowdown on the new department. So do not assume that the way that the new team operates is the same as your existing team. Teams often operate, have different policies in terms of times they get in the morning, vacation, how often they check their emails, all of those things. So make sure you know how it works when you get in on day one. And also you can find out, your supervisor's pet hates, what they value, all of this good stuff. So make sure you get as much information from the outgoing trainee as you can. Trainees are always the best source of information. So that's number 2. Number 3, and this may sound obvious, but I have seen it not done, so I thought I should mention it. Please remember to say thank you to your supervisor and to any team members who have helped you or who you've worked with during your seat. People feel good when they feel like they've helped someone and provided value. If they feel good, that's going to be good for you, because that's going to be the impression that you leave with them and that they're going to remember when it comes to qualification. So say thank you. Also, if you are interested in that seat as a qualification prospect, make sure you tell them. I do a lot of work with my clients around strategy for qualification, and I always say that there's no harm in telling someone that you love the seat, that you appreciate their support, and that you're thinking about it as a qualification option. You don't have to enter into an exclusive relationship with them. They know that you've got additional seats and that you're going to be keeping your options open, but there's no harm in telling them that you have interest. I think the worst thing, other than being a bad trainee and doing a bad job, is being forgotten. So you need to plant the seed that you are a potential qualification prospect. And also make sure you stay in touch with them, ask them if you can be included in team events, etc., etc., so that they remember you as you go through the rest of your training contract. So those are some quick tips and hacks, but the most important thing is, how do you make life easier for your supervisors? That will help you out. So that's it. If you want to think more strategically or more personally about seat changes or about the qualification process, then feel free to drop me a line. You can reach me at alex@alexandraconroy.co.uk. Also, if you think this will be helpful to your fellow trainees, or if you're a supervisor and think this will be helpful to pass on to your trainees, then please feel free to do that. But otherwise, I hope you enjoy the rest of your seat. I hope you make the most of this opportunity. Change equals opportunity. And that's it for this month. I will see you next time. Bye.